Hello, it's Tom again, and today's video is about the U.S. Coast Guard, thankfully, instead of politics. Although politics does touch upon it because it has a way of doing that. Um, I encourage comments, even if I don't always agree with them. As long as it's not threatening anybody, as long as it's not bigoted, I don't mind. And I'm encouraging you, especially if you have experience in the service, um, and you need to kind of let your truth out into the world to do so here. Um, like, share, all that stuff. So, the specific topics we're discussing is the Culture of Respect report and Operation Fouled Anchor. See, the Culture of Respect report um, went over and investigated and looked at a culture of harassment, racism, hazing, and sexual misconduct throughout the service. And Operation Fouled Anchor was an investigation into sex assault and rape at the Coast Guard Academy. And in these, in the reporting, that was eventually leaked by a very brave person to the press. Uh, the most concerning part is how the Coast Guard's internal discussions, all the way at the top level, like Coast Guard command level, not unit command, would hide that information from Congress. I mean, they also talked about not letting it become public, but that's kind of standard for the military. Um, Keep it internal and enforce discipline. But the fear of congressional oversight is really concerning because the government is supposed to oversee the military's actions. It's worth noting that the Coast Guard confirmed that these accounts that they investigated, these crimes, these incidents, they actually happened. This is not these are not isolated incidents. These are confirmed to have happened. That it is broad and widespread, that it is not at all isolated. Uh, and this touches upon me personally because while I'm very proud of what I did when I was enlisted and the contributions I've made, um, I did see the racism firsthand. I did see the hazing and the abuse. I didn't really see sex assaults, thank God. But pretty much everything else I personally witnessed or was the victim of. And we're not talking about, here or there. I mean, I was in North Carolina, I was in Virginia, I was in Washington, I was in New Jersey. I was out in the fleet, the cutter fleet. I've been at small boat stations. I've been on a group or sector basis. It happens at all of them. Um, my roommate for a year or two, he was black. I had people trying to convince me not to be roommates with them because they weren't raised like you and me. They're different and you can't trust them. And that came from more than one person. Um, when I was at a small boat station, I was the victim of what Hollywood would likely refer to as a code red. Um, I'll spare most of the details, but the idiot grandson of a local Klansman called me a snitch. And for some reason, people believed him. And for the next 2 years, I was deliberately kept sleep deprived, forced to work 16 to 18 hour days, um, ostracized. My qualification packages, they were deliberately, I was deliberately not being trained and set behind to make me look like an incompetent ass to the command. Now, the report also detailed that, a lot of times the command responses to complaints and allegations was, boys will be boys, or, you know, that's how I was treated when I was a boot, or when I was your rank. Why should it be any different from you? Or, that can't be true. It's all in your head. And, my experience is, yes, that's absolutely true. That's exactly how my last command treated it. Um, and you can see, based on those responses, which were in the report and which were also in my personal experience, that this is a generational issue. It happened to me. Why shouldn't it happen to you? That's how somebody who was abused justifies their own inaction when someone else is being abused. And another thing about it is, in order to lessen the abuse against you, you have to take on the role of the abuser and pass it forward to somebody else. If not, then you're a problem. You can't get along. And, things start getting worse for you, significantly worse. That's literally the culture of abuse in any, well, abusive culture. That's the cycle of abuse in any abusive culture, whether it's a dysfunctional family, work environment, in this case, a military service. Now, the thing is, this isn't necessarily about me. This is about, obviously, the reports, the service, and I'm adding my voice to this, because someone else was brave enough to make sure the public saw that. And there's a lot of other people I saw who were victimized. And you should at least release your truth into the world. One of the positives I took away from my service is, by yourself, you're just a regular person, but working together as a team, you can achieve great things. In this case, it's a matter of achieving a cultural shift, which will not happen overnight. We're talking minimum 20 to 25 years if, the service remains dedicated to correcting and fixing this problem. So that's pretty much it. Do not be afraid to share your experiences and ignore the people who tell you it doesn't matter, or tell you to suck it up. You don't need those people in your life. You're better off leaving them behind. Doesn't matter who they are. To Chief Warrant Officer Dibadal, sir, you were one of the best leaders I ever had, and thank you for everything you taught me. To Chief Justin Simmons, Petty Officer Eric Soto, and Petty Officer Lewis Keating, you inspired me to become the most fearsome union representative and shop steward in Local 589. Your bad example inspired me to put a lot of supervisors and senior managers out of work. And it taught me that it's okay to take out the big guys to stop the abuse happening to the little guys. That's all I have. Have a good day.